Hey, how's it going? My name is Stephen Marcus, and thank you for joining me in regards to my reflection on linguistics in TESOL. This class is going to be ES5063, taken at American College of Education. This is probably one of my most challenging classes I've taken so far at ACE, but after this, I'll have one more class for that graduate level certificate. But I want to share with you what I've learned from this course, how my knowledge and attitudes about language acquisition have grown, and how I plan to apply these insights as I continue teaching English learners. So my goal is to show not just what I learned in theory, but how it connects to real classroom practice and my own personal experience, both as a teacher and a language learner myself, as someone who is continuously trying to learn and perfect French, the French language. And bear in mind too, I have a palate expander in my mouth for braces. I'm gonna be getting braces soon, so I have a slight lisp because there's like a metal bar ring at the top of my mouth. So please forgive me. All right, so introduction. This course has been a journey for of growth for me. I came in with some background knowledge and a practical teaching experience, but I've gained a much clearer understanding of the theories and research that shape how we support English learners. In this reflection, I'll talk about the new knowledge that surprised me, the connections I made from my own experiences, the change in my attitude and beliefs, and finally, the practical applications and personal plan that I want to carry forward. For me, this has been about combining research with real life practice to become a more effective and empathetic teacher. So, new knowledge and surprises. One of the biggest surprises early in this course was how technical and precise the field of linguistics really is. For example, I had often confused phonemes and allophones, but through the Module 1 activities, I realized that linguistics has its own language that requires practice and precision. Another insight came when comparing English to languages like Polish or Ukrainian. English relies heavily on word order, while those languages use case endings to communicate meaning. This helped me understand why some of my students structured English sentences in unexpected ways. And I can understand this too as I learn French. The structure is different from the English structure, of course. So instead of seeing these as mistakes, I now see these as natural results of transferring knowledge from their first language to English. Finally, I had assumed younger students were always better language learners, but research corrected this misconception. Older learners bring unique strengths, such as myself, like metacognitive awareness, that make them capable of deep, successful language learning. And I just put a little image up here for English words translated into Polish. Thought it was fitting for the slide. Right, next slide. If it lets me click. There we go. So, connections to experience. So, this course constantly reminded me of my own experience in my ESL teaching in Hobart. So, this is our school mascot right here, if you're wondering. If you're wondering off topic but school mascots, his name is Johan, and he's a bricklayer. Our city in Northwest Indiana was renowned for making bricks. We had a bunch of brick factories here at the time. So, I work with students who speak Polish, Mandarin, and Ukrainian. And understanding how their languages differ from English helps me predict the type of challenges that they might face. And then on a personal level, I studied French for several years. Even in the college, I got to around I want to say the 400 level, and then I continue to learn it on my own. I can read it and understand it, but it's very difficult for me to speak it because I never practiced that. So I remember the frustrations and struggling with grammar rules and pronunciation. That experience gives me empathy for my students and their daily challenges as they learn English. I also bring in my background from the military service, where communication across languages and cultures was critical. Where I've lived in Spain, all different areas in Africa, and some places in Asia, etc. So those experiences taught me that miscommunication can create real barriers, but they also shown me the power of patience, respect, and willingness to learn from others. This course gives me an academic foundation to connect those life experiences with theory. So, attitudes and beliefs. My attitude towards teaching English learners has definitely shifted through this course. Before, I sometimes saw first language influence as an obstacle, something to be corrected. Now I view it as a resource that can strengthen learning. Feedback, which I used to focus mostly on correction, I now see an opportunity to encourage growth and build confidence. Most importantly, this course reinforced my belief that language and identity cannot be separated. When students feel that their home languages are valued, they also feel that who they are is valued. That sense of affirmation is essential for creating classrooms where students can thrive, and especially in today's climate and how society is in the United States. Definitely, as long as you let them know you got their back, you value their culture, they're gonna put that effort in and meet you there. Honoring the home language. So, one of the most powerful lessons for me came when we studied the importance of the home language. Cummins' research showed clearly that a strong foundation in a student's first language supports second language learning. This idea also resonates personally because in my family, my wife speaks Tagalog with our children, and they're getting there on the Tagalog, but it connects them with her culture and heritage, and it makes me proud that they are growing up as a bilingual because it's going to put them that step ahead. Like I tell my other students, or I tell my students, I said, hey guys, don't look at this as a bad thing, right? You speak a different language. It is something that puts you a step ahead of everyone else once you get to that the job market. So it connects them with their culture and heritage, their home language. Like I said in the last slide, just let them know like, hey, you value their culture, you value their home language. So when we affirm those languages in the classroom, we are affirming students' families, their culture, their identities, even their religious views. Right? English learning more makes it more meaningful and less isolating. And then here, I was looking for an image that was pertaining to kind of like a mirrored text where one side was English, one side was different language, but this is the best image I found for this slide. So, practical applications. As I think about how to apply what I've learned, several strategies stand out. I plan to keep using corrective feedback in a supportive way, such as thorough recast and peer review, so students feel guided instead of discouraged. I also want to tie vocabulary instruction to real life contexts, and I see digital tools as a powerful way to help students practice language in meaningful, authentic ways. Scaffolding and SIOP strategies will continue to be central in my teaching because they make academic content accessible while still building English proficiency. Finally, I've come to see translanguaging not as a crutch, but as a valuable instructional tool that allows students to use their full linguistic resources. Together, these approaches will help me design classrooms that are rigorous, supportive, and inclusive. But for my classroom, I love using tech, and as long as I could find things that bring in that visual understanding, it really helps them. Personal plan for growth. So my personal plan for growth builds on what I've learned here. First, I want to build a stronger command of linguistic terms by keeping a personal glossary and reviewing it regularly. Second, I plan to engage in professional development on culturally sustaining pedagogy, which goes beyond being responsive and actively working to preserve students' cultures and languages. Third, I want to keep applying research directly in my classroom and then reflect on how it works with my students. Finally, I want to collaborate with my colleagues more intentionally. That said, too, I have my first PowerPoint presentation or presentation for the teachers coming up here at the end of the month or start of October. So, sharing strategies and learning from each other, teaching English learners requires ongoing growth, and I see this plan as a way to stay both grounded and motivated in my practices. And so I just included an image of stairs showing that steady growth, that steady climb. So, conclusion and references. In conclusion, this course has given me a deeper understanding of linguistics and new appreciation for how languages are learned and taught. It reshaped my attitudes, confirming the importance of affirming students' identities, and provided practical strategies that I can apply right away. Looking ahead, my personal plan will guide me as I continue to grow in both knowledge and skills. I'll close with Proverbs 18:15. The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. So why I put this? I put this because I want students to always seek and to learn, as well as myself. I always want to continue that growth, continue to learn and do better. And I thought this was a verse that kind of pertained to that, what we went over. And then finally, on this last page, I have my sources here. Well, thank you so much, Professor. I appreciate you, and thank you for taking the time to look at my presentation, and as well, thank you for this semester. And I hope to have another class from you in the future. Hopefully, you'll be in my next class. But if not, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.